much the moment I found out I was pregnant, I started to build expectations about what my child would be like and what our life as a family would be like. And I think a lot of people do this, even if we're just doing it subconsciously. Again, we start to build those expectations almost immediately. And so when we find out either during pregnancy or after the baby is born that the baby will or does have special needs, that can be really jarring for a lot of reasons. But one of the big reasons is that it can shatter those expectations. You know, this life that you thought you were going to have is now going to be reshaped. So, you know, it's normal to be upset, to feel resentment towards the situation. And, you know, I've supported a lot of parents who felt really guilty at feeling that resentment because they're like, I should just be grateful that my baby is alive at all. I should not be feeling anything but joy. And of course, you know, feeling that gratitude is beautiful, but I think we're doing ourselves and even our children a disservice if we don't allow ourselves to feel the emotions that organically come up, even if some of those emotions are resentment. So what to do, you know, emotionally when you first hear that news that understandably can be really, really upsetting. So one of the first things, you know, surrender to those 7 stages of grief. A lot of times when we have an emotion, you know, one of those 7 stages of grief come up and we push it away, we push it away, we push it away. A lot of times we only prolong it. Instead of just skipping ahead to acceptance, we're just making that process of going through grief longer. So instead of pushing them away, I encourage you to accept them. And of course, it's painful to accept them. I get why people try to push them away, but you know, if you can, ask a friend, a family member, a partner to be with your baby for 30 minutes, an hour each day if possible. I know that can often feel like a stretch, especially if you have a baby with special needs, but to just get a little bit of alone time so you feel like you're in a safe space to open and allow whatever stage of grief you're in to flow out of you. Maybe you cry, you rage, you journal, you do whatever you need to do to let those emotions out of you. And so the 7 stages of grief, what are they? So shock, being totally shocked that this is happening to you, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then reconciliation, or, you know, finding solutions. That's also, you know, that's when you start to settle more into acceptance for what is, and then it feels more doable to reclaim joy and to see the possibilities in the situation instead of only the limitations. So again, shock, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and reconciliation, which leads to acceptance. All right, so allowing yourself to move through those stages, finding a community that understands what you're going through. So this can be a really big one. I have a friend who has a child with Down syndrome. And when she was with friends and family members, you know, she's like, they're trying to be understanding, but they just don't get it. And she's like, and I feel really resentful towards a lot of them because they have babies or children that don't have these special needs. And they're like, I know it's not their fault, but it's just hard to connect with them. And so she found a support group with other parents and caregivers of children with special needs. And, you know, she told me, I feel like I found my people. They understand. They provide amazing resources. And nowadays, she says that she feels more connected to them than her family a lot of times because, again, they really intimately understand the unique situations that she and her child are managing. So finding that group that really understands your situation. If you are parenting with a partner, communicating with your partner. So something that happens a lot in any tough situation, but especially if you have a baby with special needs, is that the partners, they try to be strong for one another. So what can sometimes end up happening is that they're not really honest about the feelings that they're having. They're just like, yep, nope, I'm fine. It's good. We're going to get through this. And while sure that's needed sometimes, just like, we can do this, we're just going to get through, it can also be really great to find times to be open and raw and really vulnerable with one another, because what this can do is help to normalize the emotions and the experience that the other partner is having. When you hear your husband or your wife or your boyfriend or girlfriend or whomever say, sometimes I go to bed crying, and sometimes I feel completely devastated by this. And you're like, oh my God, so do I. I thought I was the only one. So again, you can help the other person normalize the experience, feel more understood by being open with them about what your experience is. Also understanding that acceptance will come and go. So finding that acceptance is rarely a linear process. So it's not like, all right, once you get through the 7 stages of grief, you'll never go through them again. You're good. No, you might find that acceptance when your child is a baby, but then when they reach the age where they're ready to go to school, for example, you might go through those 7 stages again as you navigate these new challenges that your child might be facing. So to know that it's okay if that grief comes up again, but knowing that after navigating it the first time, you will likely have more tools to get through it maybe a bit quicker. And so you can find that acceptance quicker, but to, again, not resist moving through that grief, knowing that it is normal. Once again, not punishing yourself for that resentment. It does not mean that you don't love your child. It just means that, again, you had certain hopes and dreams for your child, for your family life, for your personal life. It is normal to feel resentment about circumstances that throw a lot of that off. Seeking support so you can nurture yourself. So not surprisingly, many children with special needs require more time and attention than children that do not have these needs. So, it's a lot for the caregivers. So, finding support through a partner who can, split caregiving duties with you, connecting with a respite provider who they're often trained to support parents that have children with special needs, or to train, friends and family members who are willing on how to provide quality care to your child. And so finding some people that can help you so then you can have some time to nurture yourself in whatever way feels best. Learning as much as you can about your baby's unique needs. So, really immersing yourself in learning about the mental, physical, emotional needs of your child can make you feel more empowered, less like you're just like floundering in this brand new world. Really like, okay, I understand this. I have a grip on it. This knowledge can help me and my child navigate this better. And then creating new dreams for your family. So, once you've reached that acceptance, once you've moved through the 7 stages of grief, you're at this really exciting place where, again, you can craft new dreams for your child and yourself, because you can absolutely have a beautiful life. Your child can have a beautiful life. It will probably look different than what you originally expected, but you can still look forward to amazing opportunities in life and to follow those dreams. Finally, prepare yourself for unsolicited advice and platitudes. So people who care a lot about you but don't fully understand what you're going through, they might offer words of comfort that are anything but comforting. Or in an attempt to be helpful, they might share really misguided advice. So just make yourself ready for that, and you can kind of have your go-to responses. If somebody offers a platitude, you can just say, okay, thank you. You don't have to make them feel good, like, oh, that really helps, when really what they said doesn't help at all. Or if they offer advice, like, oh, okay, I'll keep that in mind, and just kind of shutting down the conversation. Um, and, lastly, if this is something you're navigating, if you're pregnant, or your partner's pregnant and you found out that the baby has special needs, if you just had your baby and that's something you've discovered, I'm sending you, your family, your baby especially, so much love, and I'm here to offer support in any way that I can.